From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, February 3rd. Obviously, we're dealing with a big snow event. It is going to continue throughout the day. I'm no expert in this arena. I have been listening to Marcus Bailey and Stephanie and me talk about this all morning. Marcus is actually joining me right now. So, Marcus, kind of run us through what's happening right now as we record this podcast. It's 9 in the morning, so depending on what time you're listening to this, Marcus, kind of break it down.
Okay, thank you, Kylie. It's going to be kind of an all-day thing here. We've trimmed the numbers back a little bit. I think additional accumulation, because there were some areas that did pick up some snow, especially north of Indianapolis Wednesday. Didn't get much here in the city, and certainly points south, you didn't get anything. But an additional 5 to 9 inches, so a little bit lower than anticipated, but that's still a significant number. It's going to be a very consistent, steady snow through the rest of the day. Moderate, maybe heavy at times, and gusty winds of around 35 miles per hour, especially during the afternoon. So not only are you going to have low visibilities from falling snow, but you're going to have low visibilities from blowing and drifting as well. We'll likely see this snow kind of wind down as we get into the early evening hours, but just be prepared for some very, very difficult, if not impossible, travel really through the duration of your Thursday.
One more thing I want to talk to you about, Marcus, is while we are focusing right now on the snow, that is the most important piece right now. We've got some frigid air moving in too.
Yeah, so the big thing here that we're going to be talking about once the snow moves out is we got cold air coming in from Canada. And for the first time really this year, we've got a really dense snowpack that's going to act as a refrigerator and keep it really, really cold. So you're probably looking at highs once we head into your Friday into the low 20s. I think Saturday morning is probably going to be our coldest point, where we're right around 0 for an air temperature. I don't think it's super windy, but it'll be enough to likely send wind chills between 5 to maybe 15 below. And many areas, especially north of Indianapolis Saturday morning, will likely be in the sub-zero range. Highs only in the 20s for Saturday and barely to freezing by Sunday also means that this snowpack is not melting anytime soon.
Marcus, thank you. Meteorologist Marcus Bailey, everybody. And there are warming centers in Indianapolis open through the end of the week, as Marcus is just talking about how cold it's going to be. Several at Indy Parks opened at 9 o'clock this morning. We've made it easy for you to find one near you. Just go to wishtv.com. You can find all 13 centers listed in the story in the As Seen on Wish TV section. The Parks Department does say it also has gloves and blankets to hand out to people who need them. And the winter weather is fueling a spike in energy prices. Natural gas futures climbed to a 3-month high yesterday. Analysts say the massive winter blast is the main reason. More than 100 million people are under winter weather alerts across the country, meaning people are firing up the thermostats and burning gas from New Mexico to Maine. And as of 9 o'clock this morning, almost the entire state of Indiana was under some level of travel advisory, whether it be yellow, it's an advisory level warning drivers to use caution, orange, a watch asking drivers to stay home, to a red, that is a travel warning when only emergency and essential personnel are allowed on the roadways. Most of the red counties were north of I-70, with a few just south of Johnson County as well. And then around 8:30 this morning, Indiana State Police Sergeant John Perrine tweeted that over the last 12 hours, there had been 25 crashes, 3 with injuries, 13 slide-offs, 39 motorist assists, with the vast majority of those happening between 5:30 and 8:30 this morning. Those are all in the Marion and Donut counties alone. And also, this kind of weather oftentimes leads to more hospitalizations, of course. We checked in with St. Vincent Hospital ahead of the storm, one of the many hospital networks dealing with this weather on top of COVID-19.
Please say don't get worried till we're worried. Right now, we're not worried. We'll be okay.
Doctors in the ER tell us a slight easing in COVID cases does leave some room for storm emergencies. The state health department still has the entire state in red, though, the highest level of virus spread. This is the 3rd straight week all counties are red. Hospitalizations dipped slightly in the newest update, with 82 fewer COVID patients compared to the day before. And a new study out by the CDC shows people not fully vaccinated and boosted for COVID-19 are 97% more likely to die. Agency Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky shared the data at yesterday's White House COVID-19 response meeting. Walensky also says 54% of people over the age of 65 hospitalized with the virus are not vaccinated. The study is based on data collected in early December. Also this morning, as we do every Thursday, we were joined by Inside Indiana business host Gerry Dick to talk about some local business headlines. He joined us through Zoom this morning because of the inclement weather. And here's a look at Scott Sander and I talking with Gerry about what's coming.
High spirits and endangered places top the best business coverage in the state in our partnership with Inside Indiana Business and the IBJ.
High spirits, I like that. Yes, Inside Indiana Business host Gerry Dick joins us virtually this week because of the weather, of course. An Indianapolis distillery expanding. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And you're right. And I think some folks are going to need some spirits today to get through this snow. The distilled spirits industry, if you will, is really beginning to grow in Indiana. Not as popular, let's say, as the wineries and the breweries, the craft breweries that we're seeing pop up all over the state of Indiana. But this is indeed a trend that we're seeing around the state. Hotel Tango here in Indianapolis, Cardinal Spirits in Bloomington. These are distilleries that are producing spirits, not only for consumption and distribution in Indiana, but around the country as well. Another good example, 1205 Distillery. Started in Flesher Place in downtown Indianapolis, just announced plans to put in a new distillery in downtown Lebanon near the courthouse square, part of an economic revitalization there. That distillery is growing, the owners say, so fast they can't keep up with demand. In fact, they say this new distillery in Lebanon will increase their production by 400%. So this distilling trend, if you will, is really beginning to catch on in a big way. There's even a distillery trail that has been established throughout the state of Indiana. We'll talk about that with the founders of 1205 Distillery on the show, what it's all about and what's next. Apparently a lot of growth, that's for sure.
I was going to make a whiskey business pun, but we don't have time. Historic Lodge in Bloomington is in danger of disappearing?
Yeah, exactly. The B.G. Pollard Lodge, which during a time of segregation really served as a safe haven, if you will, for African Americans in Bloomington, a very popular black nightclub, a social hub, and again, a haven for African Americans to really get together and socialize and get away from some of the challenges that may have existed there. A challenge indeed with the lodge itself in that it is on an endangered list from the Historic Landmarks organization. Mary Rachel Redden will give us a unique look, first time inside this lodge in 15 years.
Oh, that's fascinating. All right, what's coming up Sunday on Inside Indiana Business?
Records, the ports of Indiana, the state's three ports. There's been problems, supply chain out on the coast, not so much here in the Midwest. Indiana's three ports set records. We'll find out what's behind that. Allison Millington will join us with a look at Super Bowl 46, 10 years later, what the impact has been, what's next. Also, the Indiana Donor Network has set a record, 1,000 Hoosiers still on the wait list. Our partners at the Indianapolis Business Journal will talk about the evolution of the gig economy and a trend among startups to hire fractional executives. We'll also look at Indianapolis' stake in a community crime prevention grant program and the status of 46 murals that were established in Indianapolis, again, 10 years ago at the Super Bowl. Those stories and a lot more coming up this week.
Stay safe on the roads today, everyone. Stay warm and enjoy the snow if you can. Get out and have some fun. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.